Welcome to week 7. You have now advanced to phase 2 and another new beginning of the PRISM weight loss program. You have much to be excited about because by now you are feeling great physically and emotionally. Have you taken a good look at yourself lately? Have you compared a recent photo with the one you took at the beginning of this program? If you've done this, you most definitely have witnessed your own transformation, and you should be extremely proud of yourself. We at PRISM congratulate you both for your accomplishments thus far and for your commitment to continue your journey on the path to the true you. Be sure to take the time to share the results of your hard work with the other members of your group or with your accountability partner. Success is a great motivator. Are you ready to begin phase 2? Let's do it. The adventure continues. By now you will have received a copy of the Curricula 2 book. Please turn to the introductory section and locate a new agreement of resolution found on Roman numeral page 8 and sign it. Your signature represents your decision to follow the new guidelines and continue your journey. Just as in phase 1, anyone with a past or present eating disorder does not have to sign the agreement. Now, with your pen and notebook ready, I'd like you to turn in the introductory section to the PRISM diagram outlining the Phase 2 food guide. During the first 6 weeks of your journey, you were asked to totally abstain from certain types of foods. The absence of white flour products and refined sugars cleansed your body from any chemical dependencies you may have had. For the next 6 weeks, you will once again be required to stay away from these foods. This will help you to completely break any emotional ties that you may have to them. You see, an important part of the PRISM weight loss program is learning that you do not need any one type of food product in order to be happy and fulfilled. It may not have been the case for years, but today, the truth is that you are in control of food. Food no longer controls you, and that's exciting. As you look over the Phase 2 food guide, you'll notice that it includes a number of new foods, which will add variety to your healthy food choices. You alone will decide whether or not you wish to add these foods to your diet. Take a look at the fruits and vegetables portion of the food guide. You may now eat up to 6 ounces of a baked or boiled potato, sweet potato, or yam as often as 3 times per week, but no more than once per day. This does not include canned sweet potatoes, mashed or fried potatoes, nor potato salad. As you'll see in the breads and grains section, you may consume up to 2 slices of 100% whole wheat or whole grain sandwich bread per day. You may not eat rolls, buns, or breads of any other kind. Did you know that whole grain foods keep you healthy? The sad truth is that most Americans don't know why whole grains are so beneficial, or even how to find them in foods. Whole grains are rich in antioxidants, tumor suppressors, cholesterol reducers, insulin regulators, antithrombotic agents, and nutrients such as vitamin E, folic acid, zinc, selenium, and magnesium. Whole grains also tend to have a low glycemic index, meaning they are less likely to spike blood sugar. In addition, a report from the University of Minnesota found that whole grains can fight heart disease, ward off diabetes, block cancers, and keep weight off. Whole grains also pack high fiber. Whole wheat has 5 times the fiber of refined wheat. Because of the high fiber content of whole grain foods, you are less hungry, less likely to overeat, and less likely to gain weight. So how do we identify a whole grain? A whole grain contains 3 elements: the core of the grain, known as the germ, the large middle mass, or endosperm, and the outer layer, called bran. This important outer part of the grain is removed during processing. Include some of these beneficial whole grain foods on your shopping list: wild rice, brown rice, bulgur wheat, whole wheat kernels, oats and oatmeal, barley, buckwheat, amaranth, and quinoa. To obtain true whole grain products, always read your labels. Look for 100% whole as the very first ingredient, such as 100% whole wheat or 100% whole oats. And as always, if you see an ingredient you can't pronounce, you probably shouldn't eat it. The grains and cereals portion of the Phase 2 food guide also allows for 2 6-inch corn or 100% whole wheat tortillas. Tortillas must be baked or steamed, not fried. Again, read your labels to avoid hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated fats. You'll find a treat in the milk and dairy section of your new food guide. 3 times per week, you may eat up to 5 ounces of a sugar-free, white flour-free pudding or frozen dessert. Sugar-free means no corn syrup, no glucose, and no sucrose. Products containing the natural sugars outlined in Phase 1 are allowed. Remember to avoid products containing aspartame. There are no changes or additions to the meat and protein section of your food guide for Phase 2. However, the quantity of meat and protein you consume may change should you decide to adjust your calorie level. Now that you are entering your second phase of the PRISM weight loss program, the time has come to evaluate your calorie level. By now, you are quite familiar with the guidelines for daily calories outlined in Phase 1. Only you can truly decide how you have been feeling under these guidelines. Here's Tony Vogt to talk about adjusting your caloric intake.
I'd like to take a moment to welcome you to Phase 2 of the PRISM weight loss program. I'm happy that you're continuing your journey to the true you. Once again, you have reached a crossroads that requires a decision, a personal decision. Based on what your body is telling you, you must decide whether or not to raise your calorie level. Do you feel energized, healthy, and happy? Great. No changes need to be made. However, if you've begun an exercise program, or if you have low energy or low blood sugar, if you constantly feel hungry or unsatisfied, then you must consider raising your calorie level. Try to stay as close as possible to the top of the calorie limit listed in your guidelines, but feel free to go to the higher range if necessary to feed, nourish, and satisfy yourself, body, mind, and spirit. Keep in mind that there is no right or wrong calorie level. Be honest with yourself, and you will make the right decision. You are a unique individual with a unique body type. We all have different needs. If you do choose to raise your calorie level, please inform your support group leader, correspondence consultant, or accountability partner. If you have an eating disorder, please check with your healthcare professional before making this important decision. Now that you have crossed over this milestone, you are ready to begin Phase 2 of this rewarding program. You are also ready to assume greater responsibility for your eating behaviors. Adding normal foods to your life will help you realize that 2 slices of sandwich bread or 1 potato can be part of a healthy, balanced meal, even while you're losing weight. Go ahead and enjoy an occasional dessert without sugar, aspartame, or white flour. As the transformation process continues to take place within you, you will discover that your focus is not on the food you eat. Instead, your positive attitudes and right actions will allow you the freedom to choose a variety of healthy foods which sustain and support the true you. So trust yourself and your decision about whether or not to add new foods or more calories to your diet. You've been doing extremely well to this point, and you will continue to succeed.
We're excited to offer you a greater selection of foods during Phase 2, but make your choices carefully and pay attention to what your body tells you. You have been wheat-free for 6 weeks, and chances are some of you no longer crave it. If wheat products presented problems in the past, including cravings or food allergies, you may not want these foods back in your diet. If after adding wheat back into your diet, you begin to experience bloating, digestive upset, cravings, or increased mucus in your throat or stools, or if your weight loss seems to plateau, you must once again consider eliminating wheat products from your diet. Watch for these adverse symptoms with corn products as well. Both wheat and corn can be allergens and are high on the glycemic scale and may present problems if you have a carbohydrate sensitivity. A good alternative to regular 100% whole wheat bread is a bread named Ezekiel bread. Made from sprouted grain, Ezekiel bread does not seem to cause as many adverse reactions to those with carbohydrate sensitivities. When adding new foods during Phase 2, be sure to proceed with caution. If you do not have allergies or other problems with these foods, use all your senses to enjoy them. After all, it's been a long time since you've experienced holding a sandwich or having toast with your eggs for breakfast. But now you can control whether or not you'll eat bread. In fact, the bread is losing its power over you. We've spent quite a bit of time talking about bread, but that's not the only new food you're welcome to try. We want you to be adventurous. If you tend to eat the same foods over and over again, you will soon become bored. However, a varied diet will bring about greater satisfaction while eating. Try new recipes containing your favorite healthy foods. If you haven't already ordered the Prism Cookbook, I strongly urge you to do so. It's affordable and full of easy, delicious recipes. The cookbook also gives you accurate calorie counts and lists which recipes are acceptable for each phase. Eating a variety of nutritious, delicious, healthy food while using all your senses will bring so much satisfaction. You'll be amazed at how much less you'll need to eat. With a little creativity, every meal and every snack will be a source of pleasure. Don't allow yourself to feel deprived. If you approach your meals focusing on what you can't have, an attitude of deprivation will set in, and you will have difficulty succeeding in long-term weight loss. Instead, think positively about all the foods you can enjoy and realize the bounty and variety of real foods God has given us that satisfy, delight, and build health. And don't forget the importance of drinking 8 to 10 daily glasses of water. Drinking sufficient water each day helps regulate the kidneys, enhancing their efficiency. Believe it or not, if you suffer from water retention, you need to drink more water. When the body senses an inadequate supply of liquid, it holds on to every drop, which leads to water retention. However, with the right balance of fluids, excess water is eliminated. Water also acts as a lubricant for joints and protects and cushions tissue and vital organs. Enjoy your water each day, knowing that it provides your body with many blessings and health. Now, we need to address artificial sweeteners. Most of the low-cal and diet foods we think will help us lose weight contain artificial sweeteners. New studies show that foods and beverages containing artificial sweeteners may actually work against weight loss by increasing hunger and your craving for sweets. These fake sweeteners can decrease your levels of serotonin, the brain chemical that hears the "I'm full, don't eat anymore" message from your stomach. At the same time, these sweeteners trigger the insulin response, which reduces fat burning and increases fat making. According to Dr. Julian Whitaker, artificial sweeteners play a significant role in our current weight problems. Far from helping us lose weight, aspartame has been proven to increase appetite, especially craving for sweets. Imagine diet products that help you pack on extra pounds. And aspartame's downside doesn't end with weight gain. This sweetener is associated with multiple health problems. The most common adverse reactions attributed to aspartame are headaches, dizziness, attention difficulties, memory loss, slurred speech, and vision problems. This cluster of symptoms has become so common that it is actually referred to as aspartame disease. He further writes, what about multiple sclerosis, chronic fatigue, rheumatoid arthritis, depression, and other mood disorders? I have reviewed scores of documented cases mistakenly diagnosed with one of these conditions, only to have all signs of disease completely vanish after getting off aspartame. Aspartame is comprised of 2 amino acids, aspartic acid and phenylalanine. Aspartic acid acts as an excitatory neurotransmitter, or chemical messenger in the brain, stimulating neurons to fire. Problems can arise when aspartic acid is out of balance with inhibitory amino acids that calm things down. Phenylalanine also easily enters the brain, where it's transformed into neurotransmitters that can further interfere with normal brain function. This is a likely reason why aspartame lowers the threshold for seizures, mood disorders, and other nervous system problems. This altered brain chemistry may also be responsible for the addictive nature of aspartame. Some patients report that getting off diet soda takes more willpower than giving up cigarettes. Dr. Whitaker recommends that you don't trade one bad habit for another by switching to sugar-laden drinks and sweets. Avoid most bottled or canned sodas, teas, and juices altogether. If they don't contain an artificial sweetener, they're loaded with some kind of sugar. Your beverage of choice should be water. Try perking it up with a slice of lemon. Sparkling water, diluted fruit juice, and homemade herbal iced tea flavored with the herbal sweetener stevia are other options. If you haven't already done so, you must begin to wean yourself from any products containing artificial sweeteners. For the next 6 weeks, you must begin a diligent effort to reduce your consumption. Use less and less each day. By phase 3, we want you to be completely aspartame-free. You will be in control of any and all food and beverages you choose to consume. Artificial sweeteners will no longer have power over you. You will have complete control over anything and everything you put into your healthy body. Remember this easy rule to live by. If God made it, enjoy it. If man made it, avoid it. Beginning a new phase in the PRISM weight loss program brings with it lots of information and often many questions as well. At this point, Tony will answer some of the most frequently asked questions about phase 2.
The first question I'd like to address is one we hear constantly, and it's this. Can we make our own bread? And the answer is yes. When you make your own bread, you have complete control over the wholesome ingredients you put into your bread. Be sure you use the approved natural sweeteners and 100% whole grain flour. Determine the total amount of calories found in your loaf of bread, and then divide by the number of slices you will make. Remember to limit yourself to 2 slices each day. Also, be aware that if you've had a problem with bread in the past, this may not be a good idea. The smell of baking bread may tempt you beyond what you can bear at this point. Be honest with yourself and use good judgment. Another popular question is, can we have cornmeal? This one's not as easy to answer because determining whether or not to add cornmeal to your diet can be tricky. For those who do not have a carbohydrate sensitivity or an allergy to corn, it may be all right. However, cornmeal is generally used in recipes calling for white refined flour in order to make cornbread, or lard in order to make polenta or tamales. In both of these cases, the answer would be no. Be honest with yourself. You must stay within the PRISM guidelines. Cornbread, polenta, and tamales would not be acceptable at this time. Our recommendation is that you wait until your continuance phase to use cornmeal. Many PRISM participants wonder where to go for a body composition analysis. This simple test to determine the percent of fat in your body is generally available through a healthcare provider. You may also try calling nearby health clubs, hospitals, and gyms to request this measurement. Here's a question many of us can relate to. What can I do about my urges for crunchy foods? Cold, crunchy vegetables with low-fat dip and fresh, crunchy fruit like apples make great choices. Also, toasted brown rice cakes with a little natural peanut or almond butter usually do the trick. How about munching on ice cubes? Many people have found this works and it's calorie-free. However, you must consider if your hunger is truly physical. It may actually be emotional hunger. Cravings tend to last for only 15 to 20 minutes. If your cravings are emotional in nature, be assured that they will pass. Go outside for a breath of fresh air. Have a tall glass of water with a lemon slice or a warm cup of herbal tea. Put on music to alter your mood. Do some chores, take a walk, say a prayer, sing a song. Just stay out of the kitchen. Ask God for the strength to overcome. You can do it with His help. Another question we hear often relates to hair loss. According to Udo Erasmus, author of Fats That Heal, Fats That Kill, hair loss is directly attributed to lack of essential fatty acids. Be sure that you are consuming enough healthy fats and oils each day and that you're getting enough protein. Also, if you are under stress, be sure you are taking plenty of B vitamins. You may also want to increase your calorie level if you are feeling hungry or unsatisfied. Check with your doctor to determine which of these solutions may be right for you. Here's a question regarding food substitutions. May we substitute hummus, bulgur, and couscous for rice? Absolutely. Hummus made from garbanzo beans is a healthy and delicious choice. If you choose bulgur or couscous, be sure that they are 100% whole, and be aware that they may cause a reaction for those of you with a wheat allergy or addiction. If you decide to incorporate these foods, please use caution, especially if you are carbohydrate sensitive. Some participants in the PRISM weight loss program have struggled with getting in the minimum number of daily calories, and they want to know what to do about it. Consuming at least 1,000 calories each day is crucial for your health and metabolism. If you reach the end of your day without having eaten enough but don't feel hungry, try some fresh vegetable juice or lean proteins. These are very nutrient-rich and satisfying without making you feel overly full. Also, you could try a light snack of raw vegetables and low-fat dip, some raw nuts or seeds, or a deviled egg. The main thing is to always eat at least 1,000 calories to maintain your lean body tissue and keep your metabolism running. It is so very important, as well as a PRISM guideline. As the saying goes, just do it. Sometimes I can see a red light behind certain questions, and here's one. Since corn tortillas are allowed during Phase 2, we are often asked if you may cut them into wedges and bake them. The red light I see warns that you are actually asking if it's okay to make quote-unquote legal chips. The answer is no. While we agree that making homemade chips is a healthier alternative to purchase processed chips containing hydrogenated fat, we want you to examine your motivation in making corn chips. Remember, Phase 2 addresses your mindset, the way you perceive food, and the way you choose to eat it. Many other weight loss programs on the market today offer all these exciting options to you. They say eat anything you want, just learn to make it healthier. But be honest with yourself. If you still need healthy chips to be happy, satisfied, or complete, what will you do after you leave the program? Will you settle for homemade baked chips? If you don't learn to deal with your issues regarding the need for chips, whether healthy or not, sooner or later, your resolve will break down and you will find yourself back at the store purchasing your old favorites again. The goal here is to change your mindset, lifestyle, habits, and attitudes. You are only 7 weeks into the program. It is much too early in your transformation process to believe you've made a complete